Can you tell us how this match between you and Felipe ended up materializing here at ADCC?
Yeah, so I spoke to Mo, and there was kind of 2 points that I made. I was like, number one, I was like, I've fought Yuri 4 times already, and I've beaten Yuri 4 times already. So it's kind of hard to market a super fight between me and the guy who I've beaten 4 times already. I've fought him 4 times, I've beaten him 4 times, and I've submitted him twice out of those 4 times. And then I beat him by an advantage, and I beat him 11-0. So pretty convincing wins, all the way through except for that one. So I was like, it's gonna be hard to market. I was like, we should add a second super fight. And my second point was, I've already won everything else. I won 88, 99, plus 99, absolute, super fight. I've won everything there is to win. For my size, I can't go down to 77 or 66. So we should just add another super fight. And I think it would make sense because, number one, from a marketing perspective, me against Pena is a huge fight. It keeps people entertained for Saturday. I've won everything else, so no one can say, oh, well, why doesn't he do this? It's like I went above and beyond at every ADCC, and I even asked the division last year when I was only supposed to do the super fight, so let's just add another super fight. And the person who really makes out like a bandit with all this is Felipe, because Felipe is the first person to have a chance to triple gold. He gets to do the super fight Saturday, 2 matches on Saturday, which everyone is going to make an excuse that he was tired from the 2 matches after I beat him, but nobody brought up that fact when I had to do 2 matches and then fight Andre, but that's to be expected. But he gets to do 2 matches on Saturday, super fight with me on Saturday, and then he gets to do the semifinals, finals, and then the full absolute. So he could theoretically walk away with 3 gold medals, taking it from his pathetic 1 to 4. So this is really like Felipe's year to shine. So we added that second super fight with me and Felipe, like counting it as an official medal. And Felipe will have the chance to triple gold, and I'll have the chance to double gold. And another reason why I wanted to do it was because we already have guys at plus 99. We have Luke and Dan. Dan at the last ADCC was tough, but he wasn't quite ready to beat the best guys in the world. Whereas I think now Luke and Dan, if they both show up how they're training, could absolutely win that division. And Marigali is going to smoke his division. So I didn't want to do the division and take the chance away from those guys after doing such a hard camp to win those divisions. Like when I fought Gary in the Absolute, it was like the most heartbreaking moment of my whole career. Like I hated doing that. So I don't really like to compete against teammates. Like I'm with those guys every day, and I see the struggle they're going through. I'm sharing that suffering with them. And to go through a full 12-week camp, just to know that they're going to have to fight me second round is like kind of disheartening. So I was like, I don't want to do the divisions. I've already won everything. I want to give Nicholas, Luke, and Dan the chance to go in and crush those divisions. And I want to stay away from the divisions, but I also want to double gold because that's something that's going to impact my legacy when people look back. So that was really, for me, that was the main reason, was I wanted to give those guys the opportunity to win those divisions.
Given your past together and how much is at stake, would you say this match against Felipe is your biggest match ever?
I think this match against Felipe is definitely one of the biggest. I think, I think probably Andre was the biggest match ever. Just because, he had been dominating for 10 years and like there was like a real argument for like the GOAT of this, of like the GOAT of ADCC, the GOAT of Nogi. Like if he beat me, I was claiming to be the GOAT, and he came out and he beat me. He could make a pretty strong argument after his run at ADCC, especially winning 7 times, and it would have been his 7 to my 4. So I think that Andre was probably the biggest ever, but Felipe is right up there. I mean, for years, the only thing that people don't even talk about Felipe's accomplishments. They just say, oh, that's the guy that beat Gordon that one time. Like they don't mention that he won ADCC or that he won Worlds. It's just like Felipe Pena, he beat Gordon Ryan. So like that's the biggest accomplishment Felipe's ever going to have. And I think this is, anytime I fight Felipe, that the stakes are high for sure.
What are your thoughts on Felipe these days as a grappler, as a guy? What are your thoughts on Felipe?
As a person, I think he's just like kind of a delusional con man liar. As a grappler, I think he's good. I think he's hard to take down. He's kind of annoying on the feet. He's got decent passing pressure. He's got a pretty hard guard to pass. And if he gets to your back, he can legitimately finish you, obviously. But he's just kind of a guy that hasn't really gotten any better. Like every time that Felipe comes out, he's like, you're going to see a different animal. And then it's just the same stuff that he does all the time. But he's tough. He's going to be big and strong, and he's going to be annoying. And he's good. He's definitely one of the best guys in the world, but he just has so many holes in his games that, they're pretty easy to exploit.
Right now, Felipe is out in California training with Atos and Andre. What do you think about that?
That's good. He can ask those guys tips on how to lose to me.
Fair enough. How do you envision the match with Pena playing out?
I think I'm going to go out there. He won't want to play bottom position. The biggest issue for Pena is that Pena has no ability to dictate where the match goes. Pena can't take me down. If I'm in bottom position, Pena can't hold me down. And if Pena's in bottom position, he won't be able to get up. So the biggest issue for Pena is that I'm going to be able to control the pace of the match and where the match takes place. So Pena will be in bottom position at some point, and he will not be able to get up because in the no time limit match, I wasn't really putting a focus so much on really holding him down and using a lot of energy to do that because it was a no time limit match, so the pace was much lower. But in a 20-minute ADCC match, the pace will be much higher. So if I put him down, the chances of him standing up when I'm trying to hold him down are very unlikely. And the new passing stuff that I've been doing with this inside camping will completely melt him. If he starts in bottom position, if he pulls guard or just ends up in bottom in the first minute or so, it'll probably take about 6 or 7 minutes to melt him. If I melt him on the feet first and then I put him down, I'll probably just end up in chest-to-chest half guard and pass him right away. And then once you pass him or take his back, like you saw with Margala, he just literally gives up. So once I get chest-to-chest on him, the match is going to be over.
Do you think this will be the last time you guys face off?
Everything just depends on my health, really. I don't think Felipe is going to retire anytime soon. I mean, he's pretty young. I think he's like 32, 33. I think 33. So I mean, he can compete, much longer if he wants to. It's just really, it all comes down to my health. After this ADCC, I'm just going to try to get back to being healthy. And there are really only 2 matches I'm really going to be interested in after ADCC. Is going to be 1 match with Pena and then probably 2 matches with Vinny. So those are what I'm going to be fighting for, if anything, after ADCC.
Once you get those matches, then what? Are you done?
I don't know. My health has been rough lately, so I don't want to say I'm going to retire, but it's very tiring doing camps like I'm doing them right now. So I'll kind of leave it open-ended, but it's exhausting feeling like I feel every day and having to fight the best guys in the world and get ready to fight the best guys in the world.